This is a little troubling, especially for a Chicagoan like myself, Jayar Jackson, Denise Jones, still here as well. So Derrick Rose, as we do know, signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers for the veterans minimum this past offseason. It was like 2.1 million or 1.3. Yeah. I mean, like, weird to think, because when he was with the Knicks, he was thinking about free agency, wanting to sign a $180 million max contract, and then it didn't happen. So here's where Derrick Rose is at. Post the Cavaliers signing him, failing with the team, being gone, traded to Utah on a 3-team deal that landed the Cavaliers Roddy Hood. Now he got released by the Jazz, and he's only receiving 10-day contracts via Slam Online. And then Bleacher Report had a write-up. Derrick Rose's NBA future is officially in jeopardy. Here's what some execs told Ken Berger of Bleacher Report. The injuries and lack of enthusiasm to play hurts him, said a Western Conference exec. Everyone's holding on to him being the MVP, a person close to D-Rose told Bleacher Report. He knows what he can do in this league. It's just a matter of trying to find the right fit for him and his talent. Continuing on, he's not trying to go into a developing situation like Utah or trying to find out who he is. He knows who he is as a player. He thought Cleveland was going to be a good fit. When Derrick Rose is healthy, there are no problems. Well, I've gone to this many times. Brace yourself. Here is the laundry list of injuries that Derrick Rose has had. Now, to get back to the very first point, how rock bottom is this that he's only receiving 10-day contracts, considering that he won, Jayar, the MVP with the Chicago Bulls? By the way, LeBron James should have won it. Considering that he won the MVP with the Chicago Bulls, is this rock bottom now for Derrick Rose?
Rock bottom is out of the league. So
okay.
this is
near it.
A couple pebbles, Pebble Bottom, Pebble Beach. That
was good. That was surprisingly spot on.
I guess I'm a little hopeful. If I'm in this position or if I'm any of these people, you're not out of the league until you're out of the league. So if the issues are your injuries and then your enthusiasm to play, you can fix one of those. Your enthusiasm to play. The injuries, who knows? They keep coming. That's just something you can't deal with. But if your discomfort is because of your injuries, you're not sure how to react anymore to that. That's tough. So I've always been sympathetic of D Rose because people who judge him and talk, the only people I feel can judge D Rose are the NBA players who know what it's like for the grueling, the schedule and the struggle and the physical.
Because they're seeing it every day and what he has to go through.
Anyone else who just says, I can't believe this week, I can't believe, what do you mean you want to walk when you're 45 years old? You're gonna let your knee heal naturally, all that stuff, you don't have anything to say. So as far as like, the only thing I think we can criticize him on is if you want to be in the league, you gotta want to be in the league. Maybe he's cool, he made his money. Maybe he's like, I'd like if it's easy enough, but if I don't want to.
Not only NBA money, Adidas money as well.
Right.
True.
That we saw.
I mean, it's just so tough because when you see a player like D Rose, and we saw him at his prime, right? And before the list of injuries, or the laundry list as you called it.
Yeah.
It's really tough, and everyone knows we played sports. Like, it's so tough to play knowing that you're so prone to an injury. Do you want to risk and potentially jeopardize what could be a future career elsewhere? Or do you let go of something you've been passionate about for so many years? And again, that's the enthusiasm that he doesn't seem to bring, just because you're so jaded with the fact that you might get an injury this season again. This is a guy who's averaging like just the lowest numbers. He went from averaging like what, like 18, 20 points a game to now like 8, 10 at most. He's playing,
I think it was like 16, 18 with the Knicks.
He's like playing he played 16 games this season, from what I understand. The enthusiasm is hard because of the injuries that he's had. It would be interesting, and I was talking to one of my buddies about this. It would be interesting to see him. He might not be the best defensive player, but he's showed that he's a great. He has been and can be a great point guard. So it would be interesting to see him as like a backup quarterback for a great team, because he's been in like teams that are constantly rebuilding. So like if he was to go, an example, to like San Antonio or Golden State or Boston and act as a backup point guard, I think that would raise the enthusiasm levels up. I don't know, again, we can't speak on the injuries, but at least he'd have that energy to play and milk at least 1-2 more years in the league.
So he doesn't have to get grinded out to be that guard.
The only two teams that I saw for him were the Spurs and the Wizards. Like Golden State is good at their point guard position, as we do all well know, and then Boston has Terry Rozier as a backup, who could be the 6th man of the year this year.
Right.
So the teams that I thought would be good would be the Spurs and Wizards. The problem is neither of those teams want to call, and it seems like he still thinks that he is a starter in the league. But I mean, look, following his career from his Simeon high school days when he was dunking on my high school in 360 dunk state championships, playing at Memphis, the whole ACT scandal, being the #1 pick where David Stern gifted the Bulls the #1 pick in order to have Derrick Rose go home, following his career to New York, all the injuries that occurred, tearing his meniscus, tearing his ACL, a million others. I do not think that his heart is in it anymore. Because if his heart was in it, he would have been a backup for Utah. Or what he would have done is gone to those one or lesser developing teams. A developing team, rather, take out lesser. A developing team. I don't think his heart is in it anymore.
Have you ever had a serious injury in basketball?
Yeah.
Like broken ankle, even sprained knee or something, right? How did that happen?
Playing basketball.
But like, what was it like? You jumped, you land on someone,
no,
you stop
I actually was going up for a layup. I came back. I didn't come down wrong, but there was somebody trying to box out, and it was just like too many legs in one place, and it is what it is.
Soon after that,
you can't even be mad at that player.
And how many times? That's the biggest one you've had, right? And it's happened once.
It's happened once.
After that, how many times did you, when you land? Even playing basketball now, do you think about it somewhere in your head?
1000%.
Every time.
1000%.
You can't let it go.
Yeah.
I've destroyed both of my ankles. My knees have hurt. I never had a serious knee injury, but I've landed on feet. Someone's been under me when I took a shot. When I've come down on a rebound, if you're rebounding. Every time I do it, I look down.
Yeah.
I'm in midair looking for rebound. If I have the ball, I look down before I land.
Well, maybe you should channel your inner Big Sean and go,
I'm just saying.
I look up.
Your brain can't let it go. So I understand what the reason I say it's Derrick Rose is coming from that point.
Well, I know it's hard. And you know what sucks? And I'll leave you at this. That this is an MVP player who might not be a Hall of Famer.
No, he's not a Hall of Famer at all.
No.
He should be a Hall of Famer.
No.
Conversation.
How do I wave the white flag harder? No. Another argument for another day.
He has a great resume.